Nope. Nope. Can hear me now. Yay! Everybody can hear me. Can hear me now. Yay! Everybody can hear me. Can hear me now. Yay! Everybody can hear me. Can hear me now.
Oh, now it's just repeating constantly. Oh, now it's just repeating constantly. Oh, now it's just repeating constantly. Oh, really annoying for everybody. Wow. Oh, really annoying for everybody. Wow. Oh, really annoying for everybody. Wow. Oh, really annoying for everybody. Wow.
He stopped.
Testing.
Yeah, we've got it. Yay, Clyde, we're on.
Hey, why do I have to do this every time? Right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everybody in between. Welcome to the BSTV Poopcast, episode Duh. I am.
If you've got another channel going, turn it to mute. Because I can hear the echo of what we're saying.
What about now? There you go. So, welcome to episode Duh. I am Clyde Whiting, and in the booth with me, as usual, it is Mr. Pete Bingham. Good evening.
But only when you're talking now.
Okay.
Oh no. That could be better. No, yeah, right, I think we're on. So that's good. Right, let's carry on. We certainly shall. Oh, interesting. You can hear me though, I'm guessing. So undo the last thing that you undid.
I just undid it.
And I can hear you, but you're faint.
And what about now?
Still the same faintness.
Well, Ant says I'm back.
Ah, yeah, you're definitely back, so that's cool.
Back but quiet. Why am I quiet? I have no idea. I am set to the right things, but all right, we'll just trundle on anyway. So yeah, a couple of new features tonight. We've got the news, which is always good to have in a Poopcast. We've also got our new thing. iRacing wags, wives and girlfriends for those that don't know, and we will be joined by Mrs. Stacey Woodward, who's going to dish some dirt on Ant, hopefully, and tell us what it's like to be an iRacing wag. Anyway, Pete, let's get on to the news, shall we? So, what news have we got? GT4 TCR Season 9 coming up. You happy about that, Pete?
So, I don't know what the commentary setup is going to be this time, whether it's any different, but it's good that we can keep it going, given that iRacing fully pulled the ripcord on that one recently and split it all up. They changed the other series, the MOAR, into the IMSA Michelin Pilot series instead, which is more like endurance races, really, and binned off the GT4 and TCR combined, which I think it upset as many people as it made happy about the fact that those two fields wouldn't be running together, because the TCRs do get annoyed when the GT4s come herring through, and if you catch the back of the GT4 field, sometimes you get the lower end I-rating racers who are at the lower end for a particular reason. And I don't think it's the solution to it. I think they should have kept it going the way it was. The more converting to the pilot challenge, I'm not sure is the right move either. But what it does mean is it gives us an opportunity to carry on our version of the GT4 TCR. So for anybody out there that enjoys that format, because I certainly do, I love the multi-class racing. You like the multi-class racing as well, don't you, Clyde?
I do, and I think those two classes put together are like a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
I think our series has proved that they can run together without carnage. I know there's carnage in official races, but there's always carnage in official races. But when you get the right type of drivers together in a a well constructed league run by some half decent people, it just works. And I'm personally glad that we found a way to keep it running, even though iRacing are doing their best to go in a different direction, shall we say.
Yeah, it'd be a bit like getting rid of, when they do the Raw, it'd be like taking an entire class out of that just because one of the fields got annoyed that the other one was driving through it or through them. It's just I don't understand the logic, to be honest. It's such a popular league. You've got other series that they run on the iRacing service that really struggle to actually achieve an official race because the participation's so poor. I struggled to face the logic of that and understand it fully. But like I say, it means that we can carry on, and we've proven that we've got really reliable, good, fair, consistent sportsmen in our league who are they respect one another implicitly. We've seen door-to-door racing throughout, haven't we? And we saw it again last night in the V8s. We seem to attract decent fields and decent people now. We've been through our times of having people that we'd rather not attend. If you don't mind, if you could just go away, if you could vaporise, it'd be even better. But we've not got any of those at the minute, so that's really positive for our leagues.
Yeah, it's like I say, just for instance, on the GT4 TCR, we've got a hardcore of probably 15 to 20 drivers that a lot of them can switch willy-nilly between GT4 and TCR depending on new cars and things like that. iRacing have provided us with it's my favourite word, a plethora of cars to put into the series. Probably too many now. But yeah, it's good that we all think it's a good thing. iRacing, as we said, are going in a different direction. They will know the reason why. I don't know if it's to align with real life or whether they just got that much hassle from people wanting to split the classes up. I don't know, but anybody that is listening that enjoyed the TCRs and GT4s together, we're still going, and we will have season 9 starting in just over 2.5 weeks, isn't it? We've got one round left, and then we go again. So yeah, all good news there. Next up, Pete, something that I think me and you are happy about. Sam probably not as much, but GTCC is back, the Grand Touring Club Cup.
It is. It's going to be. I think this is going to be really good. Now, if Sam wants to race it, then fine. I can do cameras. It's not like I'm any good at driving GT3. I think the last time we did this, it got a bit soured, didn't it? We decided, yeah, let's park it and come back to it later on, and that's what we've done. So we've held to our promise to each other, haven't we?
Yeah, it's GT3. I nearly said GT drivers, but I think our GT4 drivers have proved that wrong. But you seem to get a different breed of driver in GT3 and also when GTE was running, because we did that as well. I enjoyed most 98% of the drivers that joined us last time in the GTCC. Yes, there was a couple that spoilt it, but I think on the whole it was very, very popular. It did provide some absolutely fantastic racing, and if we could lose the how can I put this nicely, the theatrical side of what we had before, I think it's got all the hallmarks of being a classic series.
Will be competitive if we can, like you say, get some of the drivers that we had last time that we actually want, and emulate the characteristics of the other guys in our existing leagues. Then brilliant. The fields were always quite strong. There was great participation each time. 90 minutes is a good length, and especially for a Sunday. We saw a lot of very competitive racing and some real standout individuals. Ty Simons drove in it, didn't he? And
unbelievable driver, wasn't he?
Just stunning. I mean, we called him Bob at first because in the media race, if you remember, he took out at least 2, if not 3, of his own teammates.
Yeah, he did.
But it was only a media day, and he turned out to be probably one of the best drivers we've had in any of our leagues, to be honest.
Yeah, and also I would add to that, once I got to know him through some private chats, actually a really nice guy as well. I think he got a bit of a bad rep to start with, but turned out to be really, really helpful. The schedule looks, what should we say about this, tasty?
Yeah, Spa with the new track limit rules, I think suits the GT3s a lot better now. Sebring is a winner wherever you go. There's no undulation in the track, obviously. It's been iron flat, but it's still a track that lots of people like. GT3 goes there regularly. Le Mans is made for these sort of cars and the super fast high downforce vehicles that often accompany them. I love Road Atlanta either way. It's a track that I've always liked, all the way back to Gran Turismo, the first one. And then Phillip Island is the only track that I've ever had a podium on in a private league, if I remember. Road America, brilliant last night for the V8s. Absolutely barnstorming race. Hungaroring, new to the service in theory compared to the others. Is again designed for those sort of cars. Bathurst you can't go wrong with. Massive endurance track. Just lends itself to real close racing, not just with the cars but with the walls, and super fast going down Conrad Straight. Barcelona is one that it's a 50-50 track, that one, isn't it? People love it or they despise it. It's just one of those things that it'd be good for GT3s, though. I was talking to Gary Craig about that, and he was saying it's a good track for them. And then Silverstone. You can't go wrong with Silverstone for GT cars, any rear-wheel drive cars, to be honest. It's just a brilliant track to drive on with those type of vehicles.
Yeah, so really looking forward to that calendar. Obviously, kicking off on July the 3rd, finishing on December the 11th. Sign-ups are currently open to anybody that is on our Discord at the moment. And then Wednesday, which is the 1st of June, we go live to the public. I'm sort of half expecting this grid to fill up rather quickly. So anybody in our Discord that is thinking about joining up or have joined but not paid, make sure you get it sorted before we go public, because we don't want anybody to be disappointed. One word of warning, just from our experiences of doing this last time, the stewards will take no shit. I will put this out there in public. The steward's decision is final. Anybody that argues with the steward's decision will get another penalty, and so on and so on and so on until we kick you out of the league. So we're going to try and make this as friendly as possible, and we'll see how we get on. Well, that's the end of the news, Pete. So let's get to what we really started this for, shall we? Let's talk about our leagues in general. So for the viewers at home, I'm going to put up what has happened in the last month in the GT4 TCR Challenge. But, if somebody said to me, describe this series, I think the easiest way to describe it would be it's that series that keeps on giving, if that makes sense. Out of the 8 seasons, which is, my maths is terrible, but something like 96 races, I would describe maybe 3 of them as been a bit meh, and the rest of them have been like seat of the pants, have no idea what is going on, what's going to happen next, why is he pitting there, who's going to win this, do you know what, let's just throw all the dice up in the air and see how they land.
Yeah, I don't know. When I'm in those races, obviously sometimes I'm a little competitive. I'd have probably done my best race at Knockhill of the season because I actually had a bit of pace there. When you're in with them, there's the TCRs. There's kind of 2 camps at the minute, and you've got the likes of Carl Hardy, he's no longer bridging those 2. He's fully up there with the fast guys. I'm now the guy that's bridging between the fast guys and the slower guys, the guys that are new to the cars, etc. Desperately trying to hang on to the shirt tails of the cars in front. And what I can see out of my windscreen is just chaos, because the level of competitiveness in the TCRs at the top end is immense. The changes for the lead is just crazy. I don't know how Sam keeps up with the cameras. GT4 at Knockhill, when I was commentating on it on Wednesday, was just as insane. You got Wobbly there desperately trying to get one over on Simon Trendle and not managing it. It was great to watch and to commentate on. Jamie Wilson got a podium there, like he did at as you can see on there. He's the finishing 3rd boy at the minute, isn't he? Look at that.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So he got his first win at Interlagos, of course, which is brilliant for him. It's just a great combination, and that's why I was saying about why I was struggling with iRacing's decision. It's too good of a format. It's too good of a car combination to give up. Long may it continue, and hopefully we'll generate some more interest in the GT4 side of things, because I think we've got a very, very healthy TCR grid.
Yeah, and obviously there's rumours of a new Mercedes GT4 coming out, so we know people like to jump on the new cars and try and find somewhere to race them. But you can tell, everything that you just said there is absolutely true. But you can see how close it is just by looking at the championships. We're going into the last round. Now, Stephen Walker, yes, he's got a 45-point lead in TCR, but that's not over. It's one bad race. Simon Trendle has got a 17-point lead over Wobbly Kneecaps. It's going down to round 12. It's not one of those series, no disrespect to the V8s, but that's done and dusted with a few rounds left. This just seems to go down to the wire every single season, and a lot of the time what I don't understand, Pete, is it's different drivers. It's not like the same two drivers battling it out every season. It's it can. You take TCR. Stephen Walker, for instance, is trying to win his third TCR championship, something that's not being done. But you go back to last season or the season before, it was Sam Blees and Spencer McCarthy. You've now got Russell Cowell, and what's the other fella who I'm trying to think of? He's
Jane.
You got Cowell and Powell, I'll call them, because they're like twins. They are now on an upward trend in this league, and they've both had wins this season. Like I say, you just look at the championships, and we know how good Sam Blees and Spencer McCarthy are. We know how good Gary Craig is. They're not even in that top three. And then when you go on to GT4, Simon Trendle had a season off, come back. He's in a massive battle with wobbly kneecaps. It would have been good if Tyler Newitt hadn't have got a job, because he would have been up there as well. So if Tyler's boss is watching, please sack him. But what I would say is Jamie Wilson is now showing... I think consistency is the word I'm looking for. We've just said, he constantly finishes third. He's there to pick up the pieces if Simon or Wobbly make a mistake. And then God knows what's going to happen next season, because we've got drivers talking about switching to GT4. We've got drivers talking about switching to TCR. And it's going to throw it all in the mixer again and give us something different at the end again.
It is. I think, going back to your original statement about V8s, and we've had leagues in V8s where you end up with a bit of a runaway winner. We've had that previously, haven't we, with Foggy? We've got it at the moment with Chris Jackson again. And I think that's because the car doesn't change. The car stays the same. And in these GT4 TCR championships that we run, the cars are changing regularly at the moment. We used to have it where it was only the Audi in TCR, and now we've got a glut of cars to choose from. And each one, the balance of power balance of performance, it's not fully balanced, and that's obvious. You get in one of the cars, particularly the Audi, and other cars are pulling away from you out of corners, and they're not. You're not reeling them back in on the straights. And the Honda's suffered a little bit this time round, and yes, it has suited some tracks, and yes, it can't be the OP car when Stephen Walker's winning the league in the Honda at the minute.
That is always my argument.
It is, yeah, and it's a good one, to be fair. In the top three there, you've got a Honda, an Elantra, and a Veloster. I think Shane Powell drives the Veloster. I'm sure he overtook me the other day, or the other week. So, there's the change of cars, the change of performance of cars. If they're going to throw another GT4 into the mix, then we need to understand in that pilot challenge, what are they going to drop as a car, unless they're going to extend the number of cars in a race. And that'll add to the changes as well, because the new car will add another dimension to GT4. And you're right, you'll see a small migration of people across from TCR. But you'll also see the people who like driving front wheel drive cars staying with it, and that's great, because you've got that pedigree that stays there, and you can learn from those people. I was saying to Sam last night, one of the best things that you can do, and I do a hell of a lot because I'm rubbish, is follow the car in front if it's the same car that you're driving, and find out why it's faster than you by following its lines, seeing where they brake. Understanding that, well, I can't brake there, so I need to tweak my brake bias, and that'll make me faster, etc., etc. That's what these leagues are all about, isn't it? It's learning and bringing people up to that top notch.
Yeah, and I think this league as well, and the fact that it does run every Wednesday, it's not like our normal format of once a fortnight. You the people that are getting better or are at the top of the pyramid and staying there tend to be the ones that can put the practice time in, can, like you say, tweak the car, even if it's a bit of a dog, shall we say, like with the Honda. Stephen Walker manages to wring the neck out of that car week in, week out. And to me, that adds that extra dynamic to it. And the fact that, you pick your car at the start of the season, you're stuck with that car for 6 rounds. So a lot of drivers go out and do testing as well, which you don't get normally, do you, in a game or a simulation, whatever you want to call it. Drivers will try and work out what does best at where, what car suits the particular calendar that we're running to, and they're all extra considerations for probably not so much the midfield and below, because they're still learning the trade and wanting to get better, so they're better off sticking in one car and seeing what they can do with it. But if you've got designs on winning this championship, it starts before the season starts by getting the car choice right for the first 6 races, until we get to the car swap amnesty window.
Yeah, and I think, myself and I changed to the Veloster this time because Gary did. I didn't have an opinion on the other cars. The Honda was a bit of a pig in the first few rounds of the last season in iRacing. And it just wasn't competitive. But then there was a couple of tracks where it showed its nose again, as it were. And I think it rewarded the people that had stayed with it because they knew how it had handled for the first few races. And then, of course, I'm busy trying to learn a new car, and that's never going to go well anyway, is it? I can't drive the ones that I've been driving for years. So there'll be others like me. And JB's worrying me because he's getting faster and faster.
And somebody saying that the Audi could be the quickest round. Where are we? Imola next, I believe?
Imola. It may well be, yeah, because it takes a while to get up to speed, but once it gets there, it's rapid, but you've got to give it the patience to get up to that speed first. Whereas some of the others, the launch of the Elantra is just horrifically good. You can't get near it. You can when you get the tight turns, some of the other cars turn better than the Elantra. It's got a longer wheelbase than the Veloster and the Honda. But launch out of the corner, I think that is probably the best car in TCR at the moment. Probably need someone to talk about GT4 because I know nothing about that other than the fact that the Aston Martin sounds amazing when it overtakes you. It's just brilliant.
Yeah, and to be fair, looks absolutely fantastic, doesn't it?
Stunning.
But we've got Astons in there. I think we've got one McLaren. I think everybody's dumped the BMW, haven't they? A few Porsches. So yeah, it's going to be. It will be very interesting to see what happens. I don't know how iRacing sort out the balance of performance. I don't know whether it's done on testing or on which car manufacturer is giving them the least amount of grief at any one time. And if you give them too much grief, they make sure your car is a dog. That has been suggested to me in the past. But it would be nice for TCRs I get. And go back to what you've just said, Pete, and my argument about everybody saying that the Honda's a dog, and Stephen Walker is winning the championship in a Honda, so it's obviously not a dog in the right hands. So Personally, performance of the TCRs, I wouldn't be too upset if they didn't tweak it too much. I'd like to see the Audi get a little bit of love. But GT4, I think, is the one that needs sorting out. I think, whatever they do with it, they need to try and even that up a little bit. But I'm really looking forward to the final round. Obviously, missed the last one at Knockhill due to work. But I have already said that I've got to be away early on Wednesday, where everything will come to a conclusion. The TCR Championship, GT4 Championship. I think Team Chimera, due to their shall we say, consistent big point hauls in GT4 have got that already sewn up. But driver of the season is also up for grabs, Pete, as is the head-to-heads. So it's going to be a very exciting final round.
It is. I can't believe that I'm not going to win driver of the season. Surely I'm everybody's first vote. Was that laughter?
Have you even got a vote this season?
I must I must have one.
I'm sure. No, I don't even think you've had a sympathy vote this season.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm just checking now.
Yeah.
I've got one.
I must have clicked the wrong button.
I got one. That's class. Yeah, Simon Trendle and Jamie Wilson. Funnily enough, two Chimera boys leading the way on that one. It's definitely come to a point for both of the classes to be only like 17 points behind in GT4. It puts a lot of pressure on Wobbly. It'll be interesting to see how he reacts to that, because he's been used to running away from everybody really. And then in the other class, you said before about people put a lot of practice in, but I'm pretty sure that Spencer just arrives and drives each round, which is impressive on its own, isn't it? Carl puts on practice sessions pretty much throughout every day of the week, really, which gives the TCR guys a chance to practice, but Stephen doesn't always turn up to them. So he does put his practice in, obviously, but there's a lot of innate talent, an innate skill in these leagues, and it's coming to the surface at the end of these, isn't it?
It certainly is. Well, next time we do a Poopcast, we'll be 2 races into season 9, and we'll probably be talking about which car is a dog now, and who's up there and who isn't. Anyway, that is the GT4 TCR challenge sorted. So next up, we've got our new section, which is iRacing Wags, Wives and Girlfriends. Before I put the picture up and before I bring her in, I'm not a grass, but this was Ant's fault. I decided that when we were going to do this Wags thing, I am going to ask their other half for an embarrassing photo of them that I can put on the Poopcast for everybody to see. So before we bring Stacey in, there's the embarrassing photo for everybody at home to see. And without further ado, let's bring her into the booth. Welcome, Mrs. Stacey Woodward.
Hello.
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 Can you hear us?
I can, yes.
Excellent. Right. So, first of all, welcome to the booth and welcome to the BSTV Poopcast. Thanks for coming along. Now, you've had a bit of an upgrade or a downgrade, depending on how you look at it. You moved from girlfriend to wife yesterday. Congratulations or commiserations, depending on how you're feeling today.
I don't know how I'm feeling today. I'm very, very tired.
Very tired. Right now, no. Let's not get into that, Pete. Let's
skip that one.
Yeah, day after wedding, I'm very tired. Let's hope Tracy, Stacey,
who's Tracy?
Just
I get Tracy all the time.
Let's hope she's just drunk too much. Now then, one thing I didn't know about you. You're a Scouser.
Well, no, I'm not. I don't live in Liverpool. I'm not come from Liverpool. I'm from Ellesmere Port, so if anything, I'm probably a placky Scouser.
Well, from somebody who lives in Norfolk, anybody that lives up there is definitely a Scouser.
Yeah, okay.
So, first off, how did the wedding go?
Yeah, it went really well. It was a lovely day. We didn't get married till 4:30, so we wanted to keep it short and sweet and get it done. But no, it was really nice. It was a good day. Perfect. Couldn't have gone any better.
Unfortunately, Royal Mail let us down, and me and Pete's invites didn't turn up in time, so we couldn't be there with you. That's it. She's all gone quiet now. Right. So this is the reason we brought you on. So me and Pete, we feel like we've been part of this relationship because we've known Ant for a long time. And obviously, when you and Ant got together, you knew that he was into this iRacing thing. What's it like, being... This is going to sound really horrible, but it's not meant to. Being second best to a game.
Yeah, it's very lonely. I get a lot of housework done. But no, I don't mind. You know, it's his thing. He loves it. I don't mind watching, and I don't mind really.
Well, that's good to hear. Now, especially the series that Ant loves the most, the V8s. We all know it takes a hell of a lot of practice. Are there times when you just want to batter him round the head because he's sat in that racing rig all the time?
Let's just say it's a good job I work full time, so I get to interact with people and have some social interactions.
Yeah, I can come with that agreement. But let's talk about Ant. So obviously, any dirt that you dish on Ant, we will cut out of the Poopcast, so nobody else hears it.
That's a lie.
Well, what's he like when he's actually racing? Because obviously, we've seen his face sometimes. We've seen a lot of his feet for some weird reason.
He says because you like it. That's why he puts them on.
That's what he thinks. Yeah. The trouble is he's got 6 toes, so that scares me a little bit. Does he get angry, frustrated? Does he shout a lot, or is he like cool, calm, and collected when he's racing?
He's quite calm and collected, really. He has the odd spat sometimes, but he's a lover. He's not a hater, really.
Right. So we're getting back to that.
Well, not when the cameras run, anyway.
Yeah, we're getting back to that Stacey being tired thing again, didn't we? Yeah, we said we was going to skip past that.
I can't say too much. We only got married yesterday.
Well, yeah, make the most of it. That's all I'll say. So, Ant's racing. What are you doing? I know, for instance, I'm constantly commentating and things like that, and my wife has actually offered to come on here at some point, but I don't know if that's a good idea or not. She uses that time to catch up on the 4 million hours of TV that she records every week. What do you do when Ant's racing?
Well, sometimes I'll watch a bit of Netflix and stuff, but usually it's an Evie weekend, so me and Evie are usually chilling, watching telly, playing games, and checking in now and then to see how Daddy's doing.
Okay, and do you give him words of encouragement as he's racing, or do you just leave him alone and let him do his thing?
Let him do his thing, but I always tell him not to just give stuff away, just to go for it in. Because I think if I did it, I'd be such an aggressive driver. I wouldn't let anybody kind of get in the way. I'd just go for it, and I just tell him to do that. But he's a bit more, he's quite the sportsman, so he won't do that.
And obviously we know he gets frustrated sometimes. We do constantly take the piss out of him for when he quit, but didn't really quit. Do you realise he's frustrated? Do you talk him out of it and tell him to keep going? Do you slap him round the face and tell him to put his big boy pants on, or again, do you just keep out of it?
Sometimes he has this little spats where he goes, I'm not doing it anymore, I'm giving up. And you all seen last time when he gave up, was it for a week or something like that?
Yeah.
So, it doesn't last very long. But yeah, he can get a bit frustrated sometimes, and the rig's getting sold and he's giving up. But yeah, it's short and sweet because he loves it, so it doesn't last very long.
Pete, have you got any questions for Stacey?
Yeah, a few.
Only because I want to eat my cake.
Yeah, I thought there was cake. I could hear the clinking of crockery on cutlery. So, do you think there's a benefit to Ant from doing the racing? As in, a benefit for not just for him and his competitiveness or whatever drives him to do that, but in other ways, like venting, or does it help your relationship in any way because it gives you the space to do your thing and him the space to effectively just play on a computer game, which is, let's face it, that's what it is.
Yeah, well, Ant always gets his time to play on his computer games.
Is he really just a giant child?
Oh, he's a giant man-child. He's got his own little
course.
man cave. He lives in here. He loves it.
Well, that was gonna be my next question, because we once had, I can't remember his name. I'm sure his surname was Palmer, Clyde. That had his rig in the cupboard underneath the stairs, because that was the only place. Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Yeah. He wasn't allowed his rig anywhere else because it took up too much room. Jason Palmer, that was it. That we've got other people that have their rig like in the lounge, so that they can also like keep control of their children and stuff. And you've kind of half answered it already. Does he consign himself off into a room where smoke piles out, or it smells because it's never been cleaned?
Yeah, pretty much, unless I clean it, which is quite frequently because I can't sit in mess.
No.
But I do have my own little setup in the corner with my computer and the PlayStation, so sometimes I'll sit there and have a little game myself while he's doing his little gaming sessions. So yeah, it works out quite well.
And is he quite vocal when he's racing? As in, you can tell what's going on just by the fact that he's either swearing, laughing, etc.
Sometimes, but he's quite quiet and quite a serious racer, so don't quite know what's going on sometimes.
Yeah, and he's I'm not going to say he's unique because I don't know what other people do, but when you drive the V8, which is what Ant drives a lot of, I'm sure, he does the full on heel and toe or non-auto blip. You have to blip the throttle so that the car doesn't stall. He does it like kind of properly. And I don't know many people else that do that because it's so difficult. I'd have to have my legs broken in a number of places in order to achieve it. So he obviously takes it massively seriously.
Yeah, he does. I mean, he's been doing it for a good time now, hasn't he? How long is it? A good, 7 years or something now, I think?
Yeah, I think he's been in our leagues for about 6 of those, hasn't he, Clive?
Yeah, so he's been doing it a while, so... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just a Welshman thing, they are good at quite a few things, let's just say.
Yeah. And the cost of iRacing and all the stuff that comes with sim racing, it's not cheap, is it? Are there going to be any new rules now that he's literally put a ring on it?
No, nothing's going to change. He has been eyeing up the wedding money, though.
It's free.
It's free. He said it's free.
Yeah, he has actually said that to us before when we've been talking to him. Oh, it's just, everything's free.
He thinks so, but he forgets that, I do a lot of the finances, and he sneakily buys things and puts it in and thinks I don't notice until I check the bank accounts.
Brilliant.
Like, you're never going to get away with it. Well, not for long, anyway. Come on.
No, totally.
You know what they say, it's always better to ask forgiveness than permission.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a good ending to that one. Okay. If that's what you think, you've got it all.
Yeah.
Cool. And yeah, anything else you want to share about Ant and his racing?
No, I just hope he carries on and keeps going, because I think he's a bit hard on himself sometimes and doesn't give himself enough credit. But he can smash out good races, and it's awesome to watch him when he does, because he just comes off and he's buzzing. So yeah, just for him to keep going and not give up, even though it's only for a week, but still.
Yeah.
Has he ever let you have a go?
I've had a go once, but I can't quite reach the pedals properly, so it's a bit of a struggle.
Have you heard of Pringles tubes?
Yes.
You can put them on the bottom of your feet and then you can reach the pedals.
Ah, there we go. I'll have a go with that one.
I was talking. The only reason I say that is because I was talking to somebody about 3 weeks ago, I think it was, and they said to me, "Wouldn't it be funny if we did something at Christmas where we got everybody's wives and girlfriends to race instead of the blokes?" And that thought has been churning round my head for a while, and I think that could be absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, it'll definitely be that.
Right. The only other thing I was going to ask you about is obviously Ant has now got this business going, Wild Rides, which always springs other things in my head. I think Pete's a bit too posh to say it would be a fantastic porn star name.
Yeah.
But do you get involved at all with that with Ant, or is that something else that you just leave him alone to get on with?
No, I help him quite a lot, to be fair. I mean, he does all the work, but when it comes to maybe the social side of things or invoices and bits like that, that's kind of my area, and I kind of sort that out.
Okay, that's always good to have a joint thing going on. Just before we let you go, I am going to put you on the spot, as you are our first wag to come on. I am going to ask this to all the wags that we got on, apart from my wife, obviously. We need one piece of dirt on Ant that we can bring up in our next V8 broadcast.
Oh my god, this.
It can be whatever you want. It can be a bad habit. It can be something funny that's happened, something dopey that he's done.
Does he chew his toenails while they're still attached to his feet?
No. Do you know what?
I used to do that when I was about 11.
You've not seen your feet since you were 11.
Well, I know, yeah.
Sure, I genuinely can't think of anything that's that would embarrass him.
There is no way he can be Mr. Perfect. Absolutely no way. He's Welsh for a start.
Hey, that's my husband you're talking about.
No.
Here we go. Fight.
Very protective of my man.
Come on, one thing.
I genuinely can't think of anything. I've got to watch what I say because Evie sat round behind me, you see, so I can't say too much. I'm sorry.
All right, well, we'll let you off on that one then. So, Stacey...
if I think of anything, I'll private message you, so,
Okie dokie. Because obviously we're going to cut it out of the broadcast anyway, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's it's genuinely been an absolute pleasure to have you on. Absolute congratulations to you and Ant and Evie. Your own and Jack. Yes, sorry, I always forget about Jack. You're fantastic little family there now, and I know Ant is very, very happy. Please, I know you do, but please look after him for us, because he's been an integral part of what we do pretty much since we started. Just make sure he doesn't quit again.
Oh, he won't, don't worry. He's just a big girly pants sometimes.
Any last words from you, Pete, before we let Stacey go? And,
no, it's been a...
Cook some dinner or whatever she's going to do.
It's been a pleasure having you.
It's my birthday today. I haven't been cooking anything.
Oh, happy birthday as well. Wedding, birthday. What else is there? You're pregnant, are you?
Oh my God, hell no.
No, okay. So obviously that's not why she was tired last night. Pete, anything from you?
No, just thanks for being the first on the baptism of fire that is the Poopcast.
Thank you very much.
It's been really good talking to you, actually. And when you do remember that he puts things like banana on his pizza or whatever, do let us know so that we can use that in some form of abuse on our broadcast. Thank you.
I will do. And if there's any pictures, that'll bump it up a bit, will it?
Oh, definitely. That could get financial reward.
I'm getting on these.
Yeah, that could net you a BSTV beanie hat.
Oh,
I'm doing it.
Excellent. Well, like I say, it's been a pleasure, Stacey, and keep jumping on to the broadcast. We always enjoy your comments, and enjoy the rest of your birthday.
I will do. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Good night. Bye.
So the newly crowned is that the right word?
I don't know.
Could be a crown of thorns, couldn't it, or something? I don't know.
I think that's Ant. he is a crown of thorns. She was a thoroughly lovely lady. Brilliant.
Yes, I really enjoyed that, and I'm so glad we did it now. We do have a few more lined up, so that could get interesting as the Poopcasts go on. Anyway, Pete, let's get back to our league, shall we? And next up, we've got the Simability V8 Supercar Championship. So I will get the standings and everything else on the screen for the viewers. Again, describe the league. How would you describe the league? I think it's absolutely fantastic. It was our initial baby, wasn't it? We've watched it grow. We've watched it shrink a little bit. We've watched it grow again. Again, we've got that hardcore of drivers. We've seen dominance from Chris Jackson. I know we've said this before, but when he first started with us, he was known as Crash Jackson for obvious reasons. But he's really turned it around. It's I don't know. It's the hardest car on iRacing to get to grips with, yet it's got this fan base, Pete, of people that just I don't know, are they sick in the head? Do they just like punishment? It's strange, isn't it?
Yeah. Chris Jackson, yes, he's top of the pile, but you see him always on Discord on iRacing. He's always practicing, and we've said it about other drivers in the past. Johnny Brandon, he was winning it for a while. Originally, it was Tony Klusterman that was dominating the league, and the others joined, like Foggy, and Marco Namela, and now he's come back again, and he won both races last night, and came second at Donington. These the evolution of the league isn't something necessarily that everybody stays with. Everybody's got their own commitments to either their own driving teams, because we now attract people who are affiliated with some of the more large scale teams, and they've got commitments to certain leagues that they must run. But the car itself, it's never going to be uber popular because of its challenging nature. But if people drove it more often and took the time to get good at it, the benefits that you reap, like we've said so many times, are applicable to all the other cars on the series, on the service, and probably in other games and simulators as well. We've seen lots of teams come and go, but I think that's healthy. It means that we've got pedigree to this league now. We're a number of years in, at least 8 that I can think of. And that's years, not seasons, obviously, because we've run multiple seasons in a year. It's I don't know any of our other leagues where we get drivers from literally all around the planet. I don't remember us ever having anyone from East Asia, but I think that's also true of most other leagues anyway. But we've got
I think we did.
Did we? Who was that?
I can't think of the name off the top of my head, but we definitely had somebody from Malaysia, I think they were from.
All right. Okay, I must have lost that one out of my brain. But a lot of the other ones, they're either European with some American, or slightly more American at times. And this one is, it seems to have universal appeal. And ultimately, iRacing is still investing in it, releasing tracks like Winton. It keeps the league alive, it keeps it interesting. The officials on a Friday night, we influenced that, really, didn't we? In terms of creating a strength of field race with the guys from our league who raced at that time slot, and we broadcast it for a while as well, if you remember. And it's such a community. It's a fantastic story. When we eventually write our biography of it and make our millions, Clyde, it'll be a great read.
Oh, most definitely. And then this season, obviously, we've got Simability on board, which do absolutely fantastic work within the sim racing community. But just going back to drivers and some of the drivers that you mentioned there, and I want to add to that list Adam Wright. Somebody that has plugged away, and this season is reaping the benefits. Next season, I'm fairly sure he is going to be up there in the battle for the championship. Then you've got drivers like Kenzie Newhoff, who quit and came back. Just can't leave us alone. You've got, you're saying about, drivers from all around the world. We've got people from Australia and New Zealand that get up at stupid o'clock in the morning to race a game, and sacrifice sleep. And we really appreciate it, but it just shows the commitment that some of these guys and girls have got towards what for all intents and purposes is a hobby.
Brilliant. You've got people like Nikolai Bogotyrev, who I remember at one time he was as slow as me, and now he's like uber competitive. He's up there in the top 10 all the time. Knocking on the door of the top 5s now. You got Miro, who I think had a bad night last night, but he's another one who started off, in the slower end of the field. He's now like massively competitive. They all learn in different ways from it, and the change of cars had a big effect on the league. Some people left because they kind of only liked the Ford Falcon. I don't know. And then when we got the Mustang and the new Commodore, it reinvigorated it. When different people arrived, they got interested in it. They found out about us. They joined, and some of them have never left. It's just it's a great league for people to join.
And I'll throw another driver into that mix. I'm not sure whether you're looking at the standings at the moment.
No,
but somebody that and if he's listening, I'm sure he'll agree with me. At sometimes was a four-wheeled crash fest. But have a look who's top of the pile in the Logan Jackson Safe Driver Award. Mr. Ivan Bowmans.
Yeah, I mean, another one. He's a steady campaigner, isn't he? He's a bit like, he's not that dissimilar to Ant Woodward in that respect. He wants to drive cleanly and competitively at the same time, which a lot of people don't necessarily do they? Some people want to bump and smash their way to the front and inevitably struggle to do that. He's another one. He's a stalwart of the league, isn't he? And it's great having someone like that on board.
Yeah, definitely. It's all the other drivers that make the league. Another one that you mentioned Marco Namela. I've said this before. Somebody described him to me as the fastest driver never to win the league.
Yeah.
But he never completes a full season through injury, operation. I don't know what else they do in Finland. Probably drink things that they're not supposed to, or something like that. Like polar bear piss or something. I don't know. But for me, you've got Chris Jackson that has proved that he's the driver to beat at the moment. You've got Tony Kloosterman that's always there and thereabouts. You've got Adam Wright who's just I don't know if he's. No, I don't think he's punching above his weight. I think he's put the work in to get where he is at the moment. If Kenzie Newhoff is back next season, we know he can win races. Simon Trendle.
Kenzie was back last night, and he was absolutely taking it to Marco for most of the race.
Yeah. Simon Trendle, he's one of those ones that I describe as annoying. He can jump in anything and be quick, but to do that in V8 is different. We've had a lot of drivers over the years that have been stupidly quick in other cars, and they've come into the V8 and been average or just above average. But Simon Trendle is now reaping the benefits, probably of doing a full season, but he's up there with the best of them now.
Yeah. And you think to someone like Stephen Phillips, who used to race with us in Phantom, if you remember. He was my teammate in Phantom. And I bumped into him in a GT4 race a few seasons ago. And he's rejoined us as well, because he loves racing in our leagues, because they're respectful and he can learn things from it. That's these are the reasons that people join us. It's a really good community, and hopefully it'll grow and keep growing.
Yeah, most definitely. Right, so that's V8's done and dusted, Pete. So you know where we are now. It's Marriage 101. So last time we did this, obviously we had a special guest in, Tony Kloosterman, and we got him to bring something along. I thought we'd do it a little bit different this time, and just have me and you, and see if either A, we agree with each other, or B, we can convince one another that our choices should go into Garage 101. So you're up first, Pete, and Your choice this time round is light flashing.
Yes.
So tell us all about that.
Right, so headlights. They are for lighting up the track or the road when it's too dark to see. You get fog lights, you get headlights, you get side lights, you get brake lights, you get reversing lights. What I'm talking about is the unnecessary strobing light effect that people seem that are compelled to do whenever they're behind any other driver. They don't even have to be on the same lap as the other driver. They seem obsessed with flashing their lights. For me, it's a form of cheating. It's a way of distracting the driver in front when you are still 25 car lengths behind into making some sort of error. And I don't think it's a necessary thing for any racing, real life or simulated, to have, because it's just annoying. I don't know why people are compelled to do it. If they want to be angry and frustrated, then they should let their capability do the talking for them and overtake the car that's particularly annoying to them. If you're making your way through another field, you've got a button there to press, which means you can communicate with all the other drivers. There is no need for you to flash your lights at the car in front that you're passing. And I was watching the BTCC, not today. I did watch it today, but it wasn't for that. And it was from the last round. I think it was Donington. No, it wasn't. I think it. Ooh, where was it? I can't remember now. But anyway, the lasting memory was of somebody flashing somebody else from miles back. He wasn't even on the same. He was almost not on the same straight, but he was still flashing his lights. And I just didn't understand the motivation behind it, other than to cheat. So that's what I want to put into Garage 101. I want to see it banned. I want to see all the light stalks disabled. I want to remove the button on my own steering wheel that has the word flash on it. Because for me, that is something that you clean sinks with or clean the floor with, not a button you should be pressing in order to intimidate, bully, or cheat on a simulator.
Okay, well, that just answered one of my questions. I was going to say, do you not like light flashing because you never remember to set a button up on your steering wheel to do it? But
just to intercede on that, I did share last night on the V8 broadcast why I don't flash my lights anymore myself. Not because of any of the opinions that I've just shared, but because the last time that the last time that I did try and flash someone, this was in an official race, and they had cut me up and kind of hip checked me onto the grass. I hit my pit limiter instead of my flash button and almost destroyed my car. But that is irrespective of the argument I'm making here.
Okay, so you say it's a form of cheating, trying to distract the driver in front into a mistake. Isn't that the same as making a fake move on them?
No, that is, I mean, let's put it this way. If someone weaves in the background and they're 20 car lengths behind you, you're not bothered about it, are you? You are distracted by cars flying off the track because you're thinking, is that going to come and wipe me out when I go around this hairpin bend and they're still herring across the grass? And you are distracted by things that you wouldn't normally expect to see, like flashing in your rearview mirror. And I'm not alone. Uncle Bill shares my opinion of this. I have people who will fight this corner because they think the same as me.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong. What about useful uses of light flashing? Like a night race, a night endurance race, and you're in a faster class car, or you're getting passed by a faster class car, and as they're coming past you, they flash the lights, not to distract you or anything like that, but to say thank you for getting out of the way and letting them past.
If they were saying thank you, they'd be flashing their indicators, which they don't have a button for, thankfully, because they've already gone past you. If they wanted to let you know, then they could press the button that says passing left or passing right. Or they could make their intentions clear by moving, to that side of the track by which they want to overtake you. Or they could even press the talk button and talk to you, communicate in a universal language. Flashing of lights does very little. It doesn't express the intention that you have. You could be pissed off. Yeah, you think about it when you're driving your car. Somebody's flashing their lights behind you. Are they communicating with you? Are they communicating with the car that's going the other way? Or have they seen some of their, strange friends drinking Tennant Super Strength by the side of the road or something like that? You just can't tell from a flashing of a light what the other person's intention is. It should be banned. It should be consigned to the darkest depths of Garage 101, never to be seen again by a human.
Well, in my real car, if somebody flashes their lights at me, I always take that as they're asking me to show them one of my many fantastic hand gestures in return.
See, you've proven my point there again. All the flashing of lights does is aggravates the other person. It's a distraction. It's intimidating. It's bullying and harassment. It's all those things you would lose your job for.
Okay, so I tell you what, I think you've made a very good argument.
Yay.
And although I do think light flashing in the right circumstance is fine, I also think when people do it in a racing game, it does make me chuckle, because I can't press the flashy light button and drive at the same time, so I always wonder what's going through their head. So yeah, I think in the right circumstance it's okay, but I get what you're saying. It's the overuse of it, and I agree. I think that should go into Garage 101. So well done, Pete, on a good argument.
Excellent stuff.
Okay, so mine is simply the word deg. Okay? Now, I'm from a military background. I am very, very used to acronyms, abbreviations, and all the rest of it. What I do get annoyed with is when somebody says something and then all of a sudden everybody's onto it. So, we all should know that deg is short for degradation. We also should know that if you can't be bothered to say degradation, just say where. It's a lot easier. Then to compound it, so something like deg will start in Formula 1 or another supposedly high-end real-life racing series, and then it ends up on a racing game where you haven't got real tyres, they're not made of real rubber, they don't degrade because they're on a computer game. And that is my whole argument. It's the word deg doesn't even exist in the dictionary. It's degradation. And it's lazy if you don't say degradation and you only say deg. And why don't we just call it wear or tyre wear? Because that's what it is.
Okay, so is it that you're wanting to consign that word to Garage 101, or is it that you want to remove any of the abbreviated versions of a word that have infected language to do with racing?
I think at the moment it's just the word deg.
Okay.
it is purely because I can understand if I don't know some wheels, right? Everybody's got wheels on their racing car. If they suddenly became W's, I get that. Yeah, there isn't another word for a wheel, really. But there's other words for degradation that are smaller than degradation. So why do you need to shorten the word degradation when you could just use another short word?
Yeah, I think
and it
was...
always used to be where.
Yeah.
It only happened a couple of years ago.
It did, yeah, and I don't know where it came from. There's a few other terms that now completely elude me, where it's a similar kind of concept. And I think it was Elon Musk that was... he was talking to his test teams in one of his factories, and they'd called something, for argument's sake, a test tripod. And he said, surely it's just a tripod because you work in test, you know it's a test tripod or a tripod for test. So why make it overly elaborate in its description? This is the opposite. This is taking a word with a particular meaning, and because you can't be asked to produce the rest of the 4-syllable, I had to think about that for a minute, 4-syllable word, you've reduced it down in one of two... For one of two reasons. One, you want to sound cooler and more intelligent than you are. Or B, you're just too lazy to say the full word. I'd rather consign the people that use it to Garage 101 than the terminology itself. But I'm already getting annoyed by... I like... language, and I like it to be used correctly, even though I'm originally from Manchester and therefore most of the words I say are probably mispronounced. I'm on the fence with it, but I will allow this to enter into Garage 101, I think, because you're right. Why can't you just say tyre wear? Degradation doesn't separate it from wear in any way, because I've had a good think about that. You know, it's where it is because of it being overly, too much abrasion has reduced its lifespan. You could call it tyre life. You could call it tyre wear. You could choose real words that still are only one syllable in order to achieve the same result. So, yeah, on the principle of language abuse, I'm going to permit this to enter into Garage 101.
Language abuse. I like that.
Yeah,
I should have used that in my argument, not that it bad in the end. But no, I don't know, it annoys me, and let's get rid of it. So anybody that uses the word deg in our series now, that's minus 100 points. Right, so that's Garage 101 done. So next, Pete, we move on to the Hexil Alt F4 Championship. Now, because of scheduling and trying to keep this away from a lot of the iRacing special events that go on at this time of year, we had rounds 3 and 4 at the Red Bull Ring, and I'm just looking up at my calendar to find out when we did that. That was way back on the 7th of May, and we don't race again until this Saturday. But for me, this league has got so much potential. We've not had massive grids, which... what's the reason for that? I don't really know. The racing has been absolutely fantastic. A lot of the drivers that have raced in it are basically turning up with no practice. I've said it's the ultimate arrive and drive series, and it just... I don't know. It's given us some of the closest racing, and stupid amount of lead changes that we've ever seen in a BSTV series.
Yeah, I think if anybody'd watched the race that we did at Spa, I think they would agree. You could do 10 rounds of Spa, and everybody'd be very, very happy. And each of the rounds that have been since that, you're right, that there's not been a massive grid yet, but it will, because it's just too good to miss. It's too much for people to not participate in that particular league, because it is brilliant. The points, there's not been a runaway driver just yet. Jamie's top of the pile from what I can see on the broadcast there on 369, but Gary is just behind him, really, when you consider the points on offer. And it's been clean too. It's been really good racing yet again. It needs bigger fields for the chaos to ensue, I think, because they've all been pretty clean. But they have been ridiculously hilarious. I've never seen so many lead changes in just one lap. And that's not because they're not good at it. It's because they are all really good racers. And they trust one another. It's been genius so far.
It's those sort of races, isn't it, where I run on triples, so I've got different things on different screens when we're doing a broadcast. And I look across to one of the other screens to see, I don't know, maybe who's done the fastest lap at some point. And then I look back to the standings, and the guy that was in fourth is now first. First place is now third. Third's gone up to second. Second's, and you're like, well, what did I miss? There's only been like 4 corners.
It's just brilliant. And you're right, you can arrive and drive. I don't think the guys do too much to the setup. You've got other people in that league who are prominent in other ones, and they're kind of midfield in this at the moment. They will rise to the surface at some point, but it's great to see, and more people should take part and bring it up in their estimations. It was a great move for us to do the F4. I think it's got a bit of a niche in there somewhere for some people, and I think it'll become a lot more popular soon. But so far, well, in the last couple of rounds, Jamie Wilson's shown his skill at open wheel racing. To be honest, I mean that's great stuff, and Gary Craig has been right behind him the whole time. After that, it's been a bit of a lottery, hasn't it? It's everybody's bit. I'm sure if we recorded how many people had led laps, you'd have a list about twice as long as the field for some reason. It's just brilliant.
Like you say, the opening rounds at Spa. I think I've watched those races probably half a dozen times so far, because it's. And even listening to the commentary, we are gobsmacked in the commentary at what is going on, and struggling to keep up with it, and living through every move and every sideways movement and things like that. It had absolutely everything. And even at Red Bull Ring, I think probably the first half of both races, we're like, oh, here we go again, and then it sort of settled down a little bit. But it's, you say, we haven't got a runaway leader or so. I don't think we will, because anybody that starts the race can win the race. It's that simple. It's the car is a simple car. Setup wise, there's not a lot to change. I think drivers maybe do an odd tweak here and there between rounds, and the rest of it is just pure driving. And from what we see on the broadcasts and how close it is, and you're like, I don't get why more people have not jumped on board yet. Perhaps it's a scheduling thing because they're, for the next couple of months there's long gaps between races. But I stick by it that I think this series is going to be a grower, and it. Like you say, it's a niche for us. We've never done open wheel before. It's a totally different beast to tin top racing for definite. But for some reason, it just works, doesn't it?
And it's a new car for the service, so you think it would be more popular straight away. But maybe we just need to reach out to some other areas and attract people to the league. It's not one that our racers go and do officials in, I don't think. And if they did, there'd probably be a slow and steady increase in numbers. So we'll have to see if anybody's going to do a strength of field F4 in the week in order to help us out with that. But as it is right now, it's utterly entertaining. It's great fun. Nobody's run away with it yet. Jamie Wilson's just about in the lead. But he's getting some good pressure from, you can see it there, from Gary and from Tyler. Was Tyler off for the last one? I can't remember. Or did he just not do so good? Don't really remember. Oh, he came third in the first one. I think he got caught out for something.
So he must have been there, yes.
Yeah. So, long may that one continue, to be honest, and I hope it increases in its popularity like a lot of our other leagues do. They all go through their ebb and flow, don't they? And they all start as slow burners, really. It's rare you get an absolute influx. The only one that we did was GTCC, funnily enough.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. And obviously, Alt F4 is back on, it's this Saturday, June the 4th, from Hockenheim. So, still plenty of time to get signed up, and you never know, you might even enjoy yourself. And if you don't, we certainly will, because we really, really enjoy that league. So yeah, that's Alt F4 done and dusted, Pete. So that is us almost at the end. What have we got coming up in June? So 1st of June, final round of season 8 of GT4 TCR from Imola. Then on the Saturday, on the 4th, as we said, the Alt F4 is back with rounds 5 and 6. 11th, V8 ESC, rounds 18 and 19 from Winton. Then we start GT4 TCR Season 9. Schedule still to be arranged. We're back on the 19th with the Poopcast episode Twat. Notice my continental numbering of our episodes. We've had to bring that forward a week because both Pete and myself, along with Gary Craig and Wobbly Kneecaps at the moment, are all having a weekend on the apple juice and going to watch some British touring car racing whilst eating Pete out of house and home. So yeah, we brought that forward to the 19th. And then consecutive Wednesdays, 22nd and 29th, we're back in GT4 TCR action. So that's it from us. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks to all the drivers that drive and make these leagues what they are. Big thanks to the newly crowned Mrs. Stacey Woodward for joining us as our first ever iRacing WAG. Any final thoughts from you, Pete?
No. It's great to have Stacey, who will now forever be called Tracy, on the show. I think that's a great start for a great feature. And if we can organise that race, I think that'll be brilliant. Not because it'll be funny, but it'll be good to see just how competitive the wives and girlfriends of our already competitive races actually are.
Yeah, that is going to be interesting, isn't it? And I'm pretty sure with the the minds that we've got behind the scenes, we can come up with something, probably as a Christmas special, no doubt. So yeah, that's it for this episode, and just leaves me to say goodnight, let Pete say goodnight, and then we'll close and let you listen to our absolutely fantastic music, if I can get it to work. So good night for everybody. Thanks for watching, and stay safe. See you next time.
Yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on Wednesday.
Thank you.